Double-minded, never taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be, making emotion paintable answers. Tell me, is this what you made me? Every time you bring me close, and you're thickening the ghost of you, bleeding tires you've undone. I'm done, I'm done.
Sports Opinion Show, coming to you live from the top of Diamondback's basement, the penthouse of Diamondback's basement. So we are here to give you some sports information tonight, talk sports in general, give our opinions, and take phone calls possibly. Sports info, yeah. So that phone number is 614-996-8384. Sorry, that's 8389. 614-996-8389. Could read my own handwriting, but that's normal. So, oh wow, it is on my screen on this one right here in front of me. So we will keep that in mind all night. Thank you, Diamondback, for pointing out the obvious. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Thank you, Captain Obvious, because sometimes I do need the obvious help. No doubt about that. So we do appreciate everybody tuning in and watching us tonight. Remember, tonight you can watch us on LMS DiAmOnDbAcK live, and then also tomorrow it'll be on the YouTube page of Iconic Drew. Not the Iconic Drew, Iconic Drew. Very specific there as far as that is concerned. And then tonight, of course, I'm on my Facebook page, as you can all see there. So we got that going too. Tonight we're going to talk about college football, all the games that have happened up to this point. They're all over except one. And then we're going to talk about the NFL, the coaching carousel, and also the playoffs, and set all that up and make our picks, guaranteed to be wrong. But make our picks guaranteed to be wrong. Before we get all that Diamondback, how was your New Year's Eve? It was so last year, wasn't it? Yeah. It was only a couple days ago, but so last year. Yeah, don't even want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, yeah. Well, as you know, we went out to, Carrie and I went out to the Columbus Fish Market and had a good time there. And then we just went back and watched the ball drop and had some champagne toast at midnight. So it was good. It was a good night. So, well, you're getting.
We stayed in. We're staying.
Well, as we've talked about a lot, Diamondback, you're getting married in a few months. So.
It'll be here before I know it.
It will be here before you know it. So. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for saving me money on that, by the way. I appreciate it. You're the man, Diamondback. Leave me out of your wedding so you save me money. This is how, I just want everybody to know, this is how Diamondback sold it to me. I'm trying to save you money, Iconic, so you can just relax. You don't have to be at my wedding. You'll show up because I'm going to invite you still. It's nice. We're co-hosts. The least you can do is invite me, right? So, yeah, I get that, but you still need a DJ, right? No, maybe not. Anyway, if you do, I'm more than willing to play a few tunes for you. Yeah, well, Jeff, that guy. Anyway, Jeff's a good guy. I'm just playing. So, I've known Jeff for a few years. Very good guy, as far as that's concerned. Yeah. So, David likes my shirt. He's also spreading the rumor that somebody's got a birthday coming up. I don't know who that is. So, anyway, let's move on here. This is the Ohio segment of the show. Ohio. You know, O-H. I-O. I'll finish it for you, Diamondback, because you can't spell Ohio, even though you've been here your whole life. Yeah, you've pretty much lived in Ohio your whole life, and somehow you're a Bama fan. Yeah? I know the story behind it. Our viewers don't. You don't want to share, do you? He's not in the mood to share.
I like to make our viewers upset because you live here, you have to root for them. But
yeah.
You ask them the same question. If you moved to Washington, the state of Washington, would you become a Cougar fan or a Husky fan? Oh, hell no. I'll always be a Buckeye fan.
Well, there you go.
There you go. It's
yeah.
Then don't tell me who to root for.
Exactly. That's like people that tell me I got to root for the Bengals or Browns. I'm like, no. There's only one team in Ohio that's close to a pro team, and that's the one that lives in Columbus. Those jokers are both looking for head coaches again this year. So,
yep.
There you go.
There we go. Now my mic is working.
We'll get to all that news later on when we get to the NFL. Well, let's talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets, as we tip off.
No, that we're doing gray suits in the wedding. Oh, you're talking about the professional
hockey team. We're past your wedding. We're way past your wedding, back. I'll barely be there. Anyway.
Thanks.
I'm just messing with you, sir. So, on the 27th, December 27th, they won at the Rangers 4-2, 4-3 in overtime. Then the 28th, they lost to the Maple Leafs 4-2. And on the 31st, they beat the Senators 6-3. That was the game we were watching when we were doing the show last week. And if you remember, when we went off the air, the Senators were up 3-2. Jackets came back and scored 4 goals in 10 minutes. In that game. That was amazing.
Yeah, they're still in their winning streak, right?
Yeah, as far as that's concerned, they're still in second place, 2 points behind the Caps. Kind of been stuck in that position for quite a while now. But they've won 23 games, lost 13 and tied 3.
Starting to feel like that night from Monty Python in the Search for the Holy Grail, where he's just like running and he's constant takes him forever to get there because he keeps coming over the same hill.
Right, exactly. I've seen that one. That's funny. I love Monty Python. Don't tell me. I love Monty Python. So, do we think that Urban Meyer could be an NFL coach? And do you think he'd be good at it?
Let's wait to the NFL segment on that.
Listen, Dave, I'll quell that rumor real quick. I don't think Urban Meyer's going to coach again. I think he's done this time. I honestly do. That's my opinion, and that's what we're going with at the moment.
Yeah.
I think he's done that.
I'll have a little bit something more to say when we start talking about the Buckeyes and
the
NFL
and all that. We'll talk more about that. But I just personally don't think that Urban Meyer will coach again. Okay. I think he's done. A very good week for the Blue Jackets there, by the way. And Dave, we're talking about the Jackets right now, so try to keep up. A very good week. I mean, they got 4 out of 6 points that were available to them last week, so that's a pretty good week. This next week. Tomorrow they play at the Hurricanes. On Saturday they're at the Panthers. And the 8th they're at the Lightning. So they go down to Tampa Bay to play them at the end of the week. Now, we talked about where the Blue Jackets are and how good they are in second place in their division, only 2 points behind the Caps. Pretty much been stuck 2 points behind the Caps. Then we get the other Ohio team. Total end of the spectrum. From where the Blue Jackets are at.
So they're dead last.
Yeah, they're dead last, and they're 8-30. 8-30. We're talking about the Cavs, everybody.
I figured as much as with that. LeBron's not doing that well this year.
Here we go with this joke again, Diamondback. Every week he tells the same joke.
I'm going to always say the same joke.
I think our listeners know by now that LeBron is in L.A. Did you not know that?
No, I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, LeBron's playing for the Lakers.
Come on, it's our running guy.
I think he's still out, and it's fine.
Yeah, he is. He is still out because I watched a little bit of that game last night.
Yeah, is he playing?
No, he didn't play. He's out. Okay. I did not see him at all in the about a quarter and a half I watched.
Yeah.
And I never seen him. Matter of fact, I don't even remember seeing him on the sidelines. To tell you the truth.
Wow.
So he must. I'm sure he was there. It's kind of like you're doing one thing in the house and kind of walk around past the TV and I just had it loud enough that I could hear what was going on.
Right. And this just goes to show you how smart Carrie is, not only for dating me, but also, I'm smart for dating her actually.
I was going to say you're giving her the credit, and you should be giving yourself the credit there, Bubba.
So she says Myra's done coaching. He's sick. So she likes to respond to Dave.
Great. Now we have a Furious Bueller's day off.
Right,
He's
exactly.
sick.
He's sick. He's taking the day off. So, man, what a great movie. We were talking about movies right before we came on tonight, talking about some classics. And, it's okay to talk about movies during the show because, after all, this is sports entertainment. So we can talk about
We can talk about whatever we want. It's our show.
I'm sure there's going to be a show where we're going to rank our favorite sports movies of all time. That will be fun. Speaking of movies,
Rudy's going to be in there for me.
Caddyshack is a sports movie.
Yes, it is, actually.
Because there's golf involved.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Thanks for agreeing with me on that. Man, I got into a serious debate with somebody at work about that.
Are you serious?
A couple weeks ago.
It takes place at Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie at all. So, who did Cavs lose to last week? Let's see. They lost at the Heat on the 28th, 118-94. On the 29th, they lost at the Hawks, 111-108. And then they came home to play the Heat and lost again, 117-92. So let's see who the Cavs are going to lose to next week. Next week on the 4th, tomorrow, they play the Jazz at home. And then they play the Pelicans on Saturday. Then on the 8th, they get the Pacers at home, and then they go to the Pelicans on 1-9.
The Pelicans.
So that's 4 games. How many of those do you think they'll win, Diamondback?
Go all in and say none.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 1. I think they might. I mean, they got 3 games at home, so they might steal 1.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be confident on the. I'm gonna
Wow,
say
are you becoming a Cavs fan here?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this time next week when we're talking about the Cavs, they'll be 9-33.
Okay.
You're saying they'll be 8-34.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see which way that goes.
They're trying to get their draft picks.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they're definitely building for the future. No doubt about that. So, anyway, Dave has chimed in one more time and said he said the same thing when he left Florida. Okay, Dave, look, he's not coaching again. Anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get to college football.
Dave, patience, Dave.
Patience, baby. He likes to jump ahead a little bit. It's like last week, quizzing me on the Steelers. I'm like, dude, I'm not talking about the Steelers right now. It's the Ohio teams. So, anyway, let's talk about more Ohio teams. Ohio State men's basketball.
Men's
Playing
basketball?
well.
Awesome.
They are 12-1 overall. And on the 29th, they finished off their non-conference games by taking care of High Point, 82-64. Then Saturday, they play Michigan State at home. That's going to be a big game. That's a huge game for Ohio State men's basketball. On the 9th, they're at Rutgers. So, at this point, you know, it's early on in the season. We're just now starting to really get into serious conference play. And, of course, this is when you make your runs and try to, you know, get yourself positioned for March Madness, which for Alabama fans, that's the big tournament at the end of the year where 66 teams get to play in.
There's not 66 teams in the NIT.
Exactly. Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Right. Well, actually, last year.
Oh, you're talking about the big dance.
Right. We talked about this. We talked about this before. Last year, both Alabama and Ohio State were both in the big dance. They both
Made it
won and lost.
One and lost. Yeah, 1-1 in the
both
big
of us.
dance.
So, didn't get to play each other because they weren't in the same bracket.
No.
Unfortunately, that'd be great. I keep looking forward to Ohio State and Alabama.
It's a
playing
big
basketball.
bracket.
It is. It's a huge bracket. It's a fun bracket to try to predict.
It is, actually.
And I do always do my bracket of integrity. And by the weekend, I'm throwing it away. Anyway, by the end of the weekend. Now let's talk about OSU women's basketball. Not so good this year.
Not
they
so
are
fast, my friend.
struggling a little bit. They are 4-7. They lost at Purdue. Excuse me.
Purdue, yes.
Purdue, 60-42. Then they lost to Nebraska on the 31st, 78-69. This week on Saturday they play at Maryland. That's not going to be easy because Maryland's always good. So
now,
like I said, they're 4-7. They don't look too good right now.
Women's team's usually the one that's on top of the two. You know, the
Yeah.
two. They're the usually more steady, and it doesn't look too good for the women's team this year. And if they don't turn it on here soon, they probably won't even be. Is there a women's NIT? I don't even know. Okay, there is a women's NIT. Okay, thank you. I had no idea there
Ohio
first.
State's women's team made that, and so I ended up watching some of that NIT that year.
Okay, I just never.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
right. There is, and at this point they're struggling to make that. Well, we'll see what happens. They got some time to turn it around. It's only January, so we got plenty of time. But yeah, usually the women's basketball team is really super good. During this segment, we would be talking about Ohio State football, but of course we're going to talk about that in the college
football section.
College football.
We're going to go ahead and do that. We'll just say this: they won.
They did win.
And that's all we're going to say.
That's all we're going to say right now. They won, and it was Urban's last game, Dave. Anyway, so we will we'll get to all that, talk about all that, and it's going to Killer's favorite segments. Has Killer joined in yet?
No, Killer said he might not be on tonight. So he, our most faithful YouTube watcher, is not possibly not going to be here tonight.
Life without Killer. Wow.
I know.
So once again, that phone number before we go to break, 614-996-8389. Once again, that is
614-996-8389.
And when we get back from this break,
Short break.
it's going to be a short break, we're going to go ahead and get the National Basketball Association and NHL standings out of the way. We'll talk about them. And later on, we'll get into college football and pro football. Once again, this is the Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Are you getting shaggy? When you go home to visit your mom, does she say, "Who is the new girl?" Well, this is the iconic Drew, and every time I need a haircut, I go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop. There are always sports on the TVs, and everyone gives their opinion on sports. Sometimes even topics from the iconic Drew and cast of characters Sports Opinion Show. Todd has been cutting hair for over 18 years, and he's very personable. He will give his opinion on sports and anything else we're discussing. If you want to get a great haircut at an old-fashioned barbershop, go see Todd the Barber at Todd's Barbershop, located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard, near Columbus, Ohio. Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd is a family man. So if you need a haircut, do what the iconic Drew would do. Go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop.
Having a little difficulty
Yeah,
over here.
right.
Sorry.
Everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Money Productions presents
Here, that's why.
the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show. Right now, we're going to do the quick segment on the NBA standings and the National Hockey League standings. So as you can see behind me, my team, the Detroit Pistons, and we have the Atlanta Hawks behind.
On my hat.
Because
I got green on my hat.
behind Diamondback. So I wonder which one of our teams is doing better at this point. Actually, I don't wonder because I see the standings right in front of me.
Do you?
Yeah. Once again, the phone number, 614-996-8389. Definitely want some of you Buckeye fans to call in. They've been razzing me on Facebook all week. Bring it. Bring it. All of you. Bring it. Anyway, so right now, in first place, the Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks are in first place in the East.
In East.
They are 26-10. And then your Raptors are 28-11.
Go Killers Raptors.
Pacers. Oh, Killers Raptors.
Yeah, well.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
that's
well,
like
it's
Toronto.
it's the only Canadian team they have.
Right, so they have to go with that. Pacers 25-12. Sixers are then 3 games back. Celtics are 5 games back. Heat are 8.5 back. Hornets 9 back. Answer our question. The team that would be in the playoffs right now if they started today, and they don't. But if they did, they start today. My Detroit Pistons would be in the playoffs. They're 8.5 games back.
8th place?
8th place.
Wow. So they'd
The
lose to Mo.
Hawks, meanwhile, are 16 games out of first place.
Yeah. Yeah, no. They're not doing too hot this year.
So, yeah, my team in the playoffs, Diamondbacks not. That's all I had to mention about that. We already talked about the Pistons. They're in dead last. I'm sorry, the Cavs. They're in dead last at 8-30. Next week I have them at 9-33. Diamondbacks got them at 8-34.
Wow, you can do math without Spencer. I'm
Without
impressed.
Spencer, we did math.
Yeah.
I kind of did some math. How about that? So,
Speaking of which, I see there that he is officially taller than his mother now at 5'9.5".
yes. Yep. Taller than his mom, and I was telling Braden he'll be taller than his mom next year. So
That's true.
It's probably true. Anyway, the Nuggets now in first place out west at 24-11. Warriors half game back. Thunder a game back. Rockets 3.5 back. Trailblazers 3.5 back as well. Clippers at 4 back. Spurs at 4.5. Lakers at 4.5. Right now, the Lakers are still in the playoffs. the LA LeBrons.
The LA LeBrons. I like that. I kind of like that name.
The LA LeBrons. Yeah, I kind of like that too. And so they're treading water without LeBron right now. He's still injured. The groin injury. The ultimate groin injury. I've always said, it's just my opinion in sports. If they told me it was a groin injury, I'd say, look, tell everybody it's my knee. It's not, yeah. You just don't want that.
Okay.
So you don't want a groin injury, I don't think.
No. They're not fun. I never got them in sports, but I got them in warehousing.
There you go. So that's the National Basketball Association update, or as it's known, the association. Let's go ahead and look then at the National Hockey League. And look how quick Diamondback does that. So here we go once again. Are both our teams in the playoffs? We've already talked about the Blue Jackets. They're only 2 points behind the Caps. And actually, a little update on that. They are a point behind the Pens and 2 points behind the Caps. So actually now the Blue Jackets are in third place.
Third overall.
Third overall. And the Metropolitan Division, the top 3 teams in the Atlantic Division are the Lightning, Maple Leafs, and Bruins. And did you see any of the outdoor hockey on New Year's Day?
The played there in South Bend, right?
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
It was played at Notre
Dame. That was pretty sweet.
Notre Dame. Yes.
They ran out of food out there, by the way. The
I heard.
Golics showed up.
Yeah, the Golics were there, so there was no food.
That was Mike Golick Jr. that said that. He's like, yeah, my family was there. I was like,
that's why they
wow.
Yeah. That is funny. Because they're always talking about their big food parties and everything.
Yeah, no, and it's pretty cool that they can joke about it and everything like that.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much where, that was pretty awesome. See, I love to see them get to play outside. I got to see some of that game. I didn't see all of it. I saw part.
But I think I can't remember who was on there with Mike Golick Jr. But because Wingo and was both they both were out on that day that they were talking about, or was it today that they were talking about it? But anyways, they were saying they wish they would not pick the first due to the fact that. It is a lot of college football going on. Go ahead and take the second or the third. Mm-hmm. Niche that day out for the outdoor game.
Yeah.
That way, because...
Do it this Saturday. Do it this Saturday at 1 o'clock before the wild card games start.
Before the wild card games, yeah.
I mean, that would... that in a moment, but...
But yeah, no, that would be ideal to do something like that. Go ahead and niche it out. Even do a couple of them. Do one, they did one in South Bend, do another one... out in Vegas or something. I don't know.
One at Buckeye
if it's possible.
You do one at Buckeye Stadium.
You the horseshoe?
So do one at the horseshoe, featuring the Blue Jackets against the Flames.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of the Flames, they are in first place in the Pacific Division.
Yes.
First place, then Golden Knights right behind them, and then the Sharks are the top 3 teams in the Pacific out west. And then in the Central, you got the Jets, Predators, and Stars. We're not going to talk about where they all rank in the playoffs, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah.
NHL playoffs are very hard to figure out. We're going to use Killer as a guest on that show when we talk about the National Hockey League playoffs. He doesn't know it yet.
He doesn't know it?
No. And he won't find out tonight because he's not listening.
He's not listening. I will let him know later
because
tonight.
We'll need him.
Yeah, actually, he is out playing hockey himself.
Really?
Yeah. He's got 40, what is he, 42, 43? I can't remember right off the top of my head. And still out there playing hockey with the
good for him.
Young ones.
Good for him.
Yeah. It's not pro hockey, but it's
it's still hockey.
It's still hockey. He's still out there skating.
So there's probably a lot of contact with these guys.
Yeah.
Just because they can. So. But yeah, that's awesome though. Good for Killer.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. So that's pretty much our NBA and hockey update. Once again, that phone number that we're at, 614-996-8389. I have to say right now, I would be disappointed if some of you Buckeye fans don't call in tonight and call me out like you said you were going to. So come on, bring it.
So where are we going?
Show yourselves here. Let's talk about college football after this next break.
Oh, after next break.
And we will go to break here. When we get back, we're going to talk about all of the bowl games that just wrapped up. And then we'll Diamondback will reveal where we are in points after the last game. Well, there's one more final game to go.
But we
And
gotta.
we'll get to that. We gotta make our bets and see where all that goes. This is the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show on the Ferocious Money Productions presents. And remember, folks, keep watching sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to another episode of Ferocious Money Productions presents
The Killer Show.
The Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. With no killer watching this week, unfortunately. Once again, our phone number 614-996-8389. Come on, Buckeye fans. Call me out. I want to hear about it. Bring it, Todd. You said you were going to call. You bring it. And then also, Mark, if you're out there listening, call in. Bring it, Lewis. Come on. All of you. Let's go.
Oh.
So, I'm going to call all you Buckeye fans out tonight. We're going to have some fun. We'll get to all that in a minute.
Where you been, Killer? You actually chiming in for a few. I thought you said
we have a killer sighting?
We got a killer sighting.
We got a killer sighting. Wow.
So, yeah, we was telling people that you might not be here today. So, glad to have you chiming in. And everybody's been asking, where are you at?
So, welcome, Paul, and welcome, Kathy, to my Facebook page there. And we're right now talking about college football. We're going to update all the college bowl games. And then we'll get to where our points stand and all that kind of stuff. We got to go all the way back to the Independence Bowl, which happened last Thursday. Because we just updated through Wednesday games last week. So we got to go all the way back to the Independence Bowl, which featured Temple and Duke. Yeah, Duke just runs away with this game. 56-27.
What's up with the ACC there?
Holy cow. 56-27 in this game. Daniel Jones, 30 of 41 for 423 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. You kidding me? Where are these stats coming from? These guys are putting up some serious numbers. Then, Wisconsin. That's right, Big Ten. On Wisconsin. Big time win for Wisconsin in the Pinstripe Bowl, 35-3. They just trump all over Miami University, and they just beat the crap out of them, 35-3. Jonathan Taylor, 27 carries, 205 yards and 1 touchdown. You would expect a running back from Wisconsin to be the person you talk about. This kid will probably be big in the NFL. Wisconsin running backs and offensive linemen do well in the NFL.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do, and they make big names for themselves.
Yeah, those are the guys who draft out of Wisconsin. Those two positions. Every year, you see them go high in the draft. So, good for Wisconsin. Good for the Big Ten. Baylor in the Texas Bowl. Baylor wins 45-38 over Vandy. Beat an SEC team. Way to go, Baylor. It's a big win. I like it. And in this game, Charlie Brewer went 21 of 34 for 384 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. He also had 16 carries for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. This guy was a human stat machine himself.
Just in one game.
In one game. That's holy cow. That is amazing. He accounted for 3 touchdowns in this game himself. Well, 3 touchdowns. Amazing. Freaking amazing. Then we got to go back and give it to the SEC. Auburn. Let's hear it for War Eagle.
Yeah, no.
War Eagle winning big, 63-14 in the Music City Bowl. And they beat up on Big Ten's team. Pernot.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more talking about Pernot later on. Couldn't win their bowl game, but they could beat Ohio State, Buckeye fans. Yeah, let's talk about it. Call in. 614-996-8389. Calling all you out. Call in now. Anyway. So, Jarrett Stedham in this game. 15 of 21. 373 yards. And did I count this right? 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So Pernot gives up 5 touchdown passes to Stedham.
Nobody.
And took care
Really,
of Barrett.
really nobody.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you're an SEC fan. You're not impressed with Stedham overall, are you?
No, I'm not. I mean, he's decent. Don't get me wrong. He's no top notch. He's no top notch quarterback by far.
He's not Barrett. That should be.
God,
won
yeah.
the Heisman and will be the first quarterback taken in the draft. Yeah. So if he goes
pro, why are you saying Barrett? Wasn't it Haskins?
Not Barrett, Haskins. Because I'm fired up tonight. I'm not even saying the right names. Haskins.
I've
been fired up for this show all week.
Been around me too long, man. You're starting to suffer from my disease.
Haskins.
Yeah.
Thank you, my boy Haskins, my guy. Has not declared yet whether he's going pro or not. We'll get to more of that later.
I'm actually shocked on that. I thought he would do that shortly after the game.
Yeah. We'll see.
Maybe he's still trying to decide. I don't know.
Who knows? He's got some time. So the next game, let's hand it to Auburn for that game. And Diamondback loves his War Eagles.
Really?
Really? Syracuse wins the Camping World Bowl 34-18 as they just take care of West Virginia in that game. Abdul Adams and Thurston Jackson combined for 3 touchdowns in this game. So, hand it to Syracuse there. I think I kind of got that one right, if I remember right.
I'm trying to find it here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Stanford?
Syracuse.
Syracuse
over West Virginia because I knew the West Virginia quarterback was out.
You did get that one right. You got that one for 14 points.
14 points. I kind of drew.
I think I took a heavy hit on that game.
Yeah, I think you did. Now I'm looking at it right here. You had 31 on 30 on West Virginia.
Yep.
Thanks to the tie. We talked about the tie last week.
Yeah.
So, I'll get more on the ties later. So, anyway, next game, Washington State gets by Iowa State in the Alamo Bowl, 28-26. And in this game, Gardner Minshew, 35 of 49 for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then let's hear it for Florida, the SEC, the Peach Bowl, winning 41-15. All over Meat Chicken in this game. And I did take Meat Chicken because I picked every Big Ten team. But, man, there's nothing more enjoyable than watching them lose.
See, that's now you're starting.
Even when you pick them.
Now you kind of see it. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
They win, they make your conference look good.
Right.
They lose,
they make themselves look bad.
They make themselves look bad. So it's kind of like, you know what? It's a win-win. So go ahead and root for that team to make your conference better.
Well, I found myself rooting for Florida anyway, just because they're playing Meat Chicken.
Because if they lose, it's another chance to laugh at them.
Right.
It's just another chance to laugh at them.
Yeah, and last year was really awesome when the Big Ten went 7-1.
Oh yeah.
And the one loss.
They would have went perfect.
Meat
They would have went
chicken.
perfect if Meat
I
Chicken
put
would
on
have showed up.
Facebook. I was like,
I'll
Meat
actually
Chicken,
call
you had one job. One job. And you
one
blew
job
it.
only, and yeah.
Yeah. So
You-
I've not looked
one
at
job,
what the
and you put
standings-
hot
I've
dog
not
buns
looked
in
at
a
what the-
hamburger
I've
bun.
not looked at what the standings finished out for this year for the conferences. You can look that up while we're wrapping the rest of these up. Diamondback. Anyway, the Belk Bowl won by Virginia 28-0 over South Carolina. Where was South Carolina in this game? Bryce Perkins, 22 of 31 for 208 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, South Carolina kind of got laughed at by another fellow YouTuber, Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou?
Uncle Lou.
Yeah.
And he's a big Georgia fan, and ended up just making fun of him, and ended up having a.
So is this comment by Killer directed at me?
Yep.
So I like how he complains how Purdue lost to Auburn, but beat Ohio State. Well, Ohio State has no one else that is good in their conference. Ooh, that's not true. And Auburn is in the big conference.
Okay. First of all, Killer. First of all, this is college football.
I was
You
waiting.
know
I was
that,
going to
right?
read it.
This is college football. Something you say you know nothing about. But anyway.
That's why he's an Auburn fan.
Right, exactly.
Just to make me mad, but
Yeah.
I swear I think that's why it is. But
Yeah, I would think it is too. I'm not complaining about Purdue losing to Auburn. I'm pointing out the fact that they couldn't even compete with Auburn, yet beat Ohio State.
Yep.
And people want to talk about Ohio State being in the Final Four. Ohio State does not deserve to be in the Final Four because of their loss to Purdue.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
going to get more into that later.
actually, he's
than when I
agreeing
get
with-
to the Ohio State game.
he's
But-
agreeing with you, Killer. I think you misunderstood what he was saying, but
Well, yeah.
I had to laugh at that. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
that's
I was
funny
hoping that you would.
The only
catch
part
that
I
because
disagree with is that Auburn's in the big conference. Now, this year, overall,
If you say Big Ten, I'm going to laugh at you.
go ahead and laugh. The Big Ten was a better conference overall than the SEC this year.
Wow.
Overall.
Wow, how many teams you make bowl eligibility?
Okay,
And
but
we both have
who's
14 teams.
There's only one team in your conference that's any good, and that's Alabama. There is no one else in the conference that's competitive across the country.
So Georgia doing what they've done over the past 2 years is nothing.
Well,
I mean, seriously-
what did
seriously.
Georgia do in their bowl game? Seriously, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that near in a
They
minute.
lost.
But I'm just saying
Let me give
they're
that foreshadow right now. They lost
okay.
to a team they shouldn't have lost to. So,
But I'm not saying they're the
No,
big
it's
boys
just
on the
poking
conference.
yeah. Poke me. No, I want to be poked tonight. Bring it on, man. Bring it on. In fact, where's my Buckeye fans? You guys are going to call in and call me out tonight. Ain't none of you called in yet. 614-996-8389. Once again.
That's 614-996-8389.
But yeah, I kind of still fired up tonight.
Yeah, you are.
Here's your
You are.
notes.
That's the reason
I've been fired up.
I've
I've
kinda-
been fired up since that Buckeye game ended.
I'm kind of needling you a little bit.
Because
And,
we, bring it. So, because man, me and Todd the Barber, me and Mark, me and Lewis, we were all going back and forth on this game, and whether we'll get to this in a minute. Hey, let me get these games. Oh man, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm taking a show off the rail tonight, folks.
I don't even have to. It's my job to take the show off the rail.
So, the championship games. Clemson wins 30-3 over Notre Dame. I don't even want to talk about it. But Trevor Lawrence from Clemson in the Cotton Bowl went 27-39, 327 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then Bama, Tua went 24 of 273 for 4 touchdowns. And Bama wins in their game 45-34. That game wasn't that close. Bama stopped.
But
They could have won 80-0.
This is going to be kind of a mini rant. It's not even doesn't even really go into an explosion necessarily. But one thing I do hate. I hate the Monday morning quarterback, the Monday morning coaches. You know, hey, why'd you do this? This is one thing I do have to ask Nick Saban. Why, when throwing the ball with Tua, you was raking up some serious points, but the moment you got a 28-0 lead, you start running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just why?
Why? Yeah.
You could have kept the pedal to the metal and racked up 50 points before half. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean,
and
possibly.
You're right. Out of the SEC, I have to give you Georgia. And granted, in the Big Ten, some of the secondary teams were up and down all year long. So maybe the SEC did have a better year overall. But,
Jesse Palmer.
So anyway, let's get into this debate right here. There's a mini debate to get into right at this point of the show.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the rest of the scores. And I've got something to say about Ohio State coming up here in just a moment. You can all see I'm wearing my Ohio State shirt tonight. Big time fan, love my Buckeyes. But I'm a realist when it comes to my team, unlike a lot of Ohio State fans.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I was trying to figure out what you meant by Jesse Palmer.
I'm a realist, unlike a lot of Buckeye fans. But
anyways, what's your mini debate?
When we extend to 8 teams, okay? When we extend to 8, and it's going to happen within the next year or 2. 2, 3, there it is. Oh, bring it. Come on, Buckeye fans, bring it. Hope it's one of you.
Mr. Drummond.
All right.
But, hello, caller. Why don't you give us your name and your location, please?
Hey, Diamondback. This is Lewis Drummond from Columbus, Ohio. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
All right.
Lewis Drummond, as I sit here and breathe, what is going on? It's iconic. How you doing, buddy?
I was going to ask you the same thing, man. What's up with you Steelers, man?
Oh, well, we're going to talk about the Steelers in the next See, you can't drag me into my next segment already. We're going to talk about the Steelers in the next segment. I will give this much. When you have to rely on an Ohio team to make the playoffs, you might as well just forget about it. It's not going to happen.
Okay, but what's up with, Antonio Brown and stuff, man? I mean, that's, common...
Once again, why are you dragging me into... Did you see Antonio on the Masked Singer last night?
I did not. I taped it. I'm going to watch it in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. He actually did very well.
Shouldn't have given that away.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Nice.
Lewis.
Well, that's good to know. But, man, he's the drama in Pittsburgh, man. I mean...
Well, you know what? And I'm just going to get in the NFL segment, but I'll say it now and I'll say it then. The Pittsburgh Steelers are being compared to the Kardashians.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, back to college football. Kardashians, whoever they are. I've never watched the show. Back to college football for a second. Lewis,
Yeah.
do you think, as a Buckeye fan, that Ohio State should have been in the Final Four?
Well, everybody, is upset because, let's face it, Notre Dame crapped the bed.
Okay.
They really did.
So what?
I don't know. I know people like Notre Dame and they have a big following.
Go Irish.
Even in Columbus, but man, they were just completely outmanned.
But what's the Final Four?
I think Ohio State or Georgia would have represented better.
What's the Final Four based on? Isn't it based on what you did in the regular season, not what you did in the bowl games?
Well, let's put it this way: if all's fair, you won't see Notre Dame in the Final Four anytime soon because they got the Ohio State syndrome on them now.
Okay.
And they went out and got embarrassed.
You're right, but that's not my question.
Okay, sorry.
They're fine. My question is, based on the regular season, did the committee have it right with those 4 teams?
Well, Notre Dame, supposedly plays one of the toughest schedules in the country, but the teams they played this year weren't that great, if you look at it.
But
I think, they were the teams that were supposed to be good, like USC and some of the other teams, weren't that great. So I think they got tricked into, they had an impressive record, but they didn't play anybody. Who did they play? They played Michigan, but Michigan turned out to be a paper tiger too.
did they lose to anybody?
Nope.
Did Ohio State? Ohio State lost to Bernat.
Did UCF? No, they didn't lose, but they didn't make it either.
Yeah, but because UCF is UCF, Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
The fact is that UCF does not play in a tougher conference than one of the top
I'm not
five
saying
conferences.
that UCF would have done better in that spot or not, but
Right. What I'm saying is it's simple. To me, the committee got it right, and the reason the committee got it right was based on the regular season. Notre Dame went undefeated. Ohio State lost to Purdue. You cannot lose to Purdue by 29 points and be in the Final Four. You can't do it.
And another thing, too, that you can make the comparison between Notre Dame and UCF, they're always going to – this is about the dollars. Let's don't kid ourselves, gentlemen. This is about the dollars.
No,
Notre Dame brings more eyeballs to the table than UCF.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're absolutely right.
Lewis, you're right about that.
You're absolutely right. I'm not gonna argue that point or anything of that nature.
And Killer's right here, too. He says Notre Dame should join a conference. Notre Dame should join a conference.
They should. Whether they join.
In fact, the committee should now say, based on Notre Dame's performance, they should look at Notre Dame and say, if you ever want to come back,
Join a
join a
conference.
conference.
No, they should. That's
Based on
exactly
their-
it.
I mean, I was like watching this game going, wow, the Irish look like crap.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
I turned
Clemson's
it off. It was horrible.
Clemson's a good football team.
Clemson's a great football team. Don't.
Good, but man, they got Clemson embarrassed Notre Dame.
Yes, they did. And they might have done the same thing to Ohio State. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, this is twice because they went to the 2012 national title,
Right.
got embarrassed there, and now they got embarrassed here.
But I think the committee is sending a strict message to Ohio State. This is the second year in a row that Ohio State has not made the Final Four, and both years they lost to a non-ranked team by double digits, by more than 20 points. They lost to Iowa last year, they lost to Purdue this year. And both years they did make the Final Four. That is why Ohio State was not in the Final Four. Do I think they would be there if we expanded to 8? Yeah, we're about to debate that. But I think that Ohio State stopped themselves from being in the Final Four. They're a
And
better team than Purdue. Come on. If they play Purdue 10 times, they win 9 this year.
But you got to beat them on that certain.
That's right.
Play them.
And they didn't.
That's the bottom line.
yeah, no,
And they didn't.
I think you got a point when you say they're not going to be back for a little while. They didn't perform in the chance that they had.
Mm-hmm.
This and as Iconic said, this is a chance now to force them into a conference. Okay, we gave you a shot because you went undefeated. Yes, you were right. They didn't really play anybody throughout the year. They played number 14 Michigan when Michigan was 14.
Yeah.
They played number 7 Stanford and number 24 Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
That's only ranked teams they played. Now, that granted, they play USC, which normally is good, but they were unranked when they played them.
Mm-hmm.
And they also played FSU, which normally is good. So normally they play a strong schedule, but this year was weak.
Right. And sometimes it's not the fault of the team. These
No, it's
schedules
not.
are set way ahead.
Oh, they're set way in
And
advance.
when you're playing USC, you expect them to be a top 25 team.
All this was the second coming of the ACC championship, and Clemson won it. That's all this was, because they take an ACC strong.
It still gets a lot of eyeballs to the TV, and that's what it's about. So
Well-
I don't know if the revenue, but the way they got embarrassed, I mean, I know that contract comes up pretty soon, and NBC may say, you know what, thanks but no thanks.
Ohio State gets a lot of eyeballs too.
Yeah,
Obviously.
That's right. And and believe it or not, that's another thing that gets you into the Final Four too.
Yeah.
If you travel well, people want to watch you. That's a don't underestimate that. That's a factor too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It always has been. And you're right when you say it's about money. And I mean, next year, if let's say Ohio State is undefeated, Notre Dame's undefeated, and they're looking for that 4th team, I think it'll be Ohio State because they gave Notre Dame a shot this year. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
No.
And sometimes,
they'll probably choose Ohio State because they said like Notre Dame was in last and they got embarrassed.
right, and sometimes that's a factor.
But now they'll go to LSU for sure.
Right, and sometimes that's a factor. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that, Lewis, as far as that goes, as far as the money is concerned. My only thing is I don't think Ohio State deserved it because of the loss to Purdue.
Yeah.
I have to agree too. I've said that. We got our rose-gray glasses around here, but look, that Purdue defeat was bad. You know, I had, you know, that it was bad. There's no way you can clean that up. That was the Saturday they didn't come to play, and Purdue did.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, you know, but that's the thing. You don't see Bama losing games like that. You don't see Alabama losing by 29 to anybody.
No, they haven't. They haven't lost by more than 17 to any team since Nick Saban coached for LSU.
Right, and who was the? Yeah, exactly.
That was the last time they lost by 17.
Yeah, so he's never done that.
Yeah. So I mean.
Alabama goes out and handles their business, so that's why they're always in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can play the weak teams. They blow them out by 50 points, but in the SEC, they handle their business. So.
Right.
But.
Yeah, and they had to beat Georgia to get there, which is impressive too. But Lewis, we do want to thank you for calling in. We're gonna let you go for now. Hey.
All right, gentlemen. Oh, happy New Year to y'all, and look forward to talking to y'all sometime down the road.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year. Enjoy it.
Keep talking.
All right.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right,
Later.
go Bucks.
Bye.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a short break.
Yes.
When we come back, we will pick up that debate that we're going to get into about if this was expanded to 8 this year, what 4 other teams would get in. So we're going to talk about that. This is a Ferocious Bunny Production presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. Once again, the phone number before we go to break, 614-996-8389.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Are you getting shaggy? When you go home to visit your mom, does she say, "Who is the new girl?" Well, this is the Iconic Drew, and every time I need a haircut, I go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop. There are always sports on the TVs, and everyone gives their opinion on sports. Sometimes even topics from the Iconic Drew and cast of characters sports opinion show. Todd has been cutting hair for over 18 years, and he's very personable. He will give his opinion on sports and anything else we're discussing. If you want to get a great haircut at an old-fashioned barbershop, go see Todd the Barber at Todd's Barbershop, located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard, near Columbus, Ohio. Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd is a family man. So if you need a haircut, do what the Iconic Drew would do. Go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop.
Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We do want to thank Todd the Barber as our sponsor on that last commercial there. We appreciate that, Todd. We would like to hear from you tonight, like you promised. That's 614-996-8389. So, Diamondback, we were getting ready to talk about what happens when they expand the state teams.
Right.
And what 4 other teams do we think gets in. Now, we're going to base this on my opinion of the committee had it right this year. So the 4 teams that were there are still there.
Okay.
They're still the top 4.
I'm
So
going to.
what's your other 4 teams?
Well, first off, there has always been a blowout. In the 5 years of existence of this, we've had one team blow out another team.
Yeah.
Okay. It's always been so. Expanding, in my opinion, is not as close as you think.
Yeah, it might not be.
It's not because they got to. Now, however,
This contract's actually signed through 3 years with ESPN. Another 3 seasons.
Another 3 seasons.
So
But with that being said,
we've called it the Alabama-Clemson playoff.
we got a reflex sighting, a reflex note. So, anyways, reflex in. Thanks for joining in there, Bubba. No, we got. UCF would have been I think they actually lined this up.
Agreed.
I think the 8.
UCF is one of my 4.
Boom. I really believe they should go ahead and go with the Power 5 conference champions. You win your conference, you're in unless you have multiple losses.
So then we're talking about Ohio State and Washington.
Correct.
Okay.
So you win your conference, you're in. Now, it doesn't mean you're seated in the top 5 and
Right.
you get to do that.
No, the
seating is done by the committee.
Right.
Let the committee set that. Now, let one of the at-large go to one of the smaller conferences. You win all your games.
UCF.
You win all your games.
Right.
you're in.
Right.
But if you lose, how bad you lose and who'd you lose to is what I think they should consider.
So we agree at this point. We have UCF, Ohio State, and Washington.
Washington.
Who's your fourth team? I think we're going to agree all the way across.
It's going to come down to they got Georgia in there, and then of course number 7 they got here's Michigan. However, I'm going to actually drop it down. They also got Georgia in there. I'm actually going to drop Georgia out of it. Just not that they weren't one of the top 4 teams in theory. I sure know they didn't play like that in their bowl game. But
we'll get to that in a minute.
But I would go ahead and drop down and probably even take Penn State out of it. I'd drop that low.
You'd pick Penn State.
I would drop that low.
Okay,
because I think Penn State would have done decent in a decent one.
So this is the only one we disagree on because I'm picking Georgia.
You're picking Georgia. We're actually going into each other's conference here.
Right. I'm picking an SEC team. You're picking a Big Ten.
Yeah, I would not have.
I think Georgia I think Georgia's the better pick, but that's just my opinion.
It's kind of a hard pick right there because Georgia's just. They had Alabama. They had their hands on their throat, and they let up.
Yeah.
And right now, nothing against Georgia fans or the Georgia team. It's just that's the way Kirby Smart is playing, and we know this from being fans of football as long as we have. Ohio State has gotten out and on a great lead and just set on it. Okay, let's play not to lose. No, play to crush the team.
Yes. Yep. Killer makes a good point. You take the biggest, the highest non-ranked conference winners, which, that's...
that's probably where they would go with it. So yeah, the committee probably would have agreed with you and went with Georgia and Michigan. But I think Michigan should have been dropped out and Washington swapped with that.
Yes.
So I mean, if you look at their
again, Washington did win their conference.
They won their conference. So you just automatically take the conference winners, give yourself an at-large bid that can go to a non-Power 5 conference. So right there is 6 teams.
Yeah.
And then give yourself the 2 highest ranked non-conference winners.
Is UCF and Georgia. Yours is UCF and
Penn State. Even though Penn State had a 3 loss, I still would take Penn State over Georgia.
Okay.
I just, as I said, I
think it's an interesting debate when you start expanding it to 8. And believe me, if they ever go beyond 8, you're going to really hear me go off.
Well,
because what makes college football great is every week, every game matters. It's like that's why that Purdue loss matters.
Somebody came out with, and I think Herb Street was part of this conversation, and I wish I could have found it. They only played an excerpt of it, but they were talking, debating. They was like, okay, lose the conference championships. Okay, first off, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
I think conference championships doing that.
I think conference championships are awesome.
I think after all the bowl games are played, then you pick your 4 teams.
Well, that's an interesting debate. I don't know if I like.
I mean, that's going to be a 16 team schedule for these college players, and not many of them can handle that.
Right.
Not
to mention the fans and travel and all that stuff that goes with it too.
Right.
They were talking about that on the radio today about how much you got to pay to get to this game. If you're a Bama fan, this is the second, third year in a row you're doing this.
Yeah, you're just so that's.
I mean,
What? It's actually the fourth year in a row that they've went, because Ohio State kept them out of the first one because they beat them in the 1 versus 4.
Yeah.
So, but Bama's been in the national title, and that's
I mean, I do understand why they want to go to 8. I get it, but at the same time, I kind of like the 4 because it does make for a lively debate about who got in and who didn't get in every year. Let's go back to the bowl games, though.
Yes.
In the Military Bowl, Cincinnati wins 35-31 over
Louisiana Tech. Michael Warren, the second, 20 carries for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then Stanford wins the Sun Bowl 14-13. Wow. Over Pitt.
Another one that you picked right over me.
Cameron Scarlett in that game. 22 carries, 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I got to watch the end of that game when I got home from work while Carrie was getting ready for our date. So I did catch part of that game.
Sweet.
Oregon wins 7-6 in a scoring was optional game. The Red Box Bowl. Justin Herbert, 19.
The non-Big 12 game.
166 yards and 1 touchdown. This guy decided to come back. He's not entering the draft. Justin Herbert.
Really?
Yes, he is coming back to play for Oregon next year. And then Oklahoma State wins the Liberty Bowl, 38-37.
Over the Mizzou Tigers.
Over the Mizzou Tigers. How about that? Taylor Cornelius, 26 for 44, 336 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Northwestern wins the Holiday Bowl. All right, it's here for the Big Ten. Northwestern wins the Holiday Bowl. They turned 3 turnovers by Utah and 21 points in 9 minutes in this game. That's amazing. 21 points in 9 minutes off of 3 turnovers. So, go Northwestern. They win that game. And then, the Citrus Bowl. No, I'm sorry. The Outback Bowl. Iowa wins 27-22. Yes, another win for the Big Ten.
Over an SEC Mississippi State.
Yes, how about that?
That was an actual pretty awesome game.
Yep. And Nate Stanley, 21-31, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an INT. But then things started turning bad for the Big Ten and for Iconic in general. LSU beats UCF, the aforementioned UCF.
UCF is in the Big Ten?
Well, they're not in the Big Ten, but they were in my Final 8.
They were in your Final 8.
Yeah, they're both our Final 8s, but
yeah, they would have.
The SEC team beats the crap out of them. Well, beats them 40-32.
I don't know if you tell you that this was
Burrow.
they oh my God, dude, there's
guy.
so many
Even though I didn't take LSU. Go Joe Burrow.
There's so many things. I just this here was just a flag infested bowl is all it was. I mean they every other play was flag. That hit Burrow took the first one, the initial one that cut him. I mean, come on. Somehow the opposing player's helmet got up and underneath and cut Burrow. That's just phenomenal. It was not a targeting, and I'm not saying it should have been. Mm-hmm. However, the second play that Burrow took a vicious hit out of bounds, they threw the flag. They said it was late hit out of bounds, and then they turned around and said no flag on the play. It was blatant.
Yeah,
it was 2 or 3 steps outside of being out of bounds. He had already both his feet was already down.
Yeah.
I don't know if the third foot, his next step was already down, but that's when he got hit.
Yeah.
You tell me that's not a blatant late hit.
It was a blatant dirty late hit.
And they got away with it.
I was rooting for the team that did
it. Dude, that was just no. I'm not pleased with that at all. Burrow just took a beating the whole game.
So Dave wants to know if we think college football players should be paid. I think we should debate that at a different
another time.
Yep.
But
I'm not giving you my answer on that.
Yeah,
Dave.
no, I really don't want to go down that avenue right now.
Yeah.
But it is a definitely good debate, and we'll bring that up.
We got plenty of time to debate that in the off season.
Off season, yes.
Dave, just stay tuned. You'll get your answer.
Yes.
On that. So not tonight. Sorry.
We got to bring you back. Cliffhanger.
Bringing it back. Joe Burrow in that game, my guy. 21-34, 394 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception.
Yeah, it was shocking to see you rooting for UCF on that with Joe Burrow out on the field, man.
Well, I picked UCF for one reason. I knew you were taking LSU.
Yeah.
And I also have been defending UCF on the show the whole season as far as them being a legitimate threat or a legitimate team.
This was an actual.
I joke about them being national champions. They're not. Alabama's a defending national champion.
No, they're the defending. The UCF they actually have in the bounce house.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And they actually have 2017 national champions. They are self-proclaimed, and they even say it: self-proclaimed national champions 2017.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can say that because they beat 2 great teams that year. And because they beat Georgia, and I do believe they also beat LSU that same year.
Yeah.
It was 2 SEC teams that they beat.
Right.
And
that's impressive.
It was Georgia. Was it Georgia and No, it was Georgia and Auburn, because they were the two that went to the SEC championship.
Your favorite team.
Okay, anyways.
So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting debate when we get into that. I see Killer's weighing in on that too. Killer, we will get to all that later on. We got plenty of off-season time to talk about should college athletes be paid. It's a great debate. Hopefully Eldray calls in that night because he's got some high opinions on that.
Well, we'll have to egg him. We'll have to egg him a little bit.
Tried to egg these Buckeye fans were calling me out last week.
All week, yeah, I know. I seen him on your Facebook page there, bud.
Kentucky and the Citrus, Penny Snell in this game. They won 27-24.
Snell you later.
But Snell you later over Penn State. Benny Snell, 26 carries, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
This kid is just phenomenal.
And of course, in this game, I'm like torn throughout the entire game. I got to give a little story here.
Uh-oh.
Carrie has a Kentucky shirt. She's wearing a Kentucky shirt during this game.
Oh, she's wearing the blue and white, huh?
Yeah. And I'm, of course, sporting my scarlet and gray because I'm ready for the Buckeye game to come up next. You know, and the granddaddy of them all. We're about to get into that game here in a minute. But she's sitting there rooting for Kentucky, and I'm looking at my sheet going, I picked Penn State. And I even said out loud, I picked Penn State. And she goes, well, you got that one wrong. And I'm like, wow, thanks. Appreciate that, hon. And she's like, yeah, but you got that one wrong. And, Diamondbacks got it right. So, like, but she was sitting there, Benny Snell get touched. She'd be like, yeah, going nuts. I was like, wow, that's too cool. But, Benny Snell, the man. Snell you later. I saw that pop up the first time. I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone. Go Penn State.
And, it is blue and white. Blue, white, and black is their colors.
I'm sitting there I'm rooting for the Big Ten all day. You know me. So.
Well, you have to kind of stay in your conference, man. You got, as I said, it's a win-win. They lose, you get a laugh at them. They win, they make your conference look that much better.
Let's talk about the Sugar Bowl. Texas wins 28-21. Sam Ellinger, 19-27, 169 yards. That's enough, but he also had 3 rushing touchdowns on top of that.
Yep.
Texas just took it to Georgia, and then went into the hang-on slopey mode and won the game. 2021. They didn't put them away. They didn't put that down. They held
come on, what was up with that field goal? Really, what was up with that field goal?
Yeah, right.
I mean, if they would have just went for it, okay, boom, you didn't get.
The final was actually 2024, wasn't it?
20, yeah.
24. I've got the final wrong here.
24. They actually made it look a lot closer than what it was.
Yeah.
Georgia just getting bounced all over the place.
This would have been my rant if I didn't want to go off on Ohio State fans.
Oh.
This would have been my rant. Because, and this is a mini rant right here. Go ahead and put the flag.
Oh, you
bring the flag up because I'm going to do the Buckeye rant next. But, guys, first of all, if you're Georgia, how in the world do you kick a field goal with like 3 minutes to go in the game? You're down a touchdown. You've got, once again, that same situation as the week before with that NFL team sitting there saying, let's just go ahead and kick a field goal on 4th and 6 at the 8 with 3 minutes to go and give the other team the ball back and let them run out the clock. Georgia never saw the ball again. Not on offense anyway. They saw it, but they didn't see it on offense. So before I get to the Ohio State rant, I call out all you Buckeye fans. Once again, what's our phone number there, Diamondback?
614-996-8389.
In the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, Ohio State wins 28-23. Go Bucks. Dwayne Haskins, the man who should have won the Heisman Trophy. Another little mini rant. He's the best quarterback in the country, best player in the country this year. Only the best player in the country because Bosa retired, went pro. He might have been the best player if he'd have played the whole year. Dwayne Haskins, 25-37. 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. No one had better stats than Dwayne Haskins this year. He's better than Tua, and he's definitely better than this kid out of Clemson. Give me a freaking break. He should have won the Heisman Trophy, got overlooked because of who he plays for. Anyway, ESPN haters. So, now, to the Buckeye fans who are delusional. And yes, I'm calling all you out. You're delusional. Crying out loud, what are you thinking? Ohio State did not deserve to be in the Final Four this year. We got in our lane. We won the Rose Bowl. We had a great year. We beat Meat Chicken, beat the crap out of Meat Chicken, which is awesome. Won the Big Ten against Northwestern in a great conference championship game. Then we turn around and run up the score and hold on against Washington. Let Washington come back, make it a close game at the end. Let the Buckeyes win, Urban Meyer goes out on top. Now, after the game, I'm getting text messages and Facebook things. I brought it on myself. I posted on Facebook that the conference committee got it right, in my opinion. They got the right 4 teams in, and every Ohio State fan I know, except for Lewis, thank you, Lewis, for backing me up there a little while ago, came out and said, man, Ohio State deserved to be in the Final Four. Who cares that we lost to Purdue? You lost by 29 points. You lost to Purdue by 29 points. You don't deserve to be in a Final Four if you can't beat Purdue. Sorry. Purdue plays basketball. They're not a football school. We got there and got our butts kicked, handed to us. We didn't show up that night. For whatever reason, Ohio State didn't show up. Dave, no, I will not let this loss go against Purdue. That is why we're not in the Final Four. Ohio State did not deserve to be in the Final Four. Diamondback, what's that phone number again?
614-996-8389.
So call in, Buckeye fans. You're delusional. You're delusional. If you think Ohio State deserves to be in a Final Four this season, you're delusional. Give me a call, prove me wrong. Because I'm not. This is a sports opinion show, but when it comes to this, I am not wrong. Purdue is a bad loss, a very bad loss, and for that, Ohio State got what they deserved, which was to not be in the Final Four. And with that, this is our Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. When we come back from this break, we will talk about the National Football League, the games, the carousel, coaching carousel, and the playoffs. It's again 614.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Has your better half ever told you look like a bad chia pet? Does she make you sleep on the couch? Does she confuse you with the dog? Then maybe it's time for a haircut. Hi, I'm the Diamondback, and when this happens to me, I go see Todd the barber at Todd's Barber Shop. Todd always has sports on TV and great sports topics being discussed between Todd and the other patrons. Todd's been cutting hair for over 18 years and very personable. He will give you his opinion about sports and other topics of discussion, always guaranteed to make you laugh. Todd is located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard. His hours of operation are Tuesday 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday 7 a.m. to 1. Closed on Sunday and Monday, so when you need a haircut, follow the Diamondback's advice and go see Todd at Todd's Barber Shop.
Everybody, welcome back to a Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And as you can see, we are still talking college football. I kind of forgot during that rant, I got a little worked up. I forgot that, we still have some unfinished business in college football before we can go to the National Football League. Got a lot to cover there, too, like we did in college football.
That's why these are short breaks.
Yeah.
There really are short breaks tonight. And Killer asks, so why did Haskin not win the Heisman? And he now sees why. And I was going to bring up some stats there, but no, he did not deserve it. He did land exactly where he should have landed, which was in third.
No.
And no, I don't care.
I don't care.
Tua didn't play half the freaking games.
I don't care. If you guys don't stop scheduling cupcakes, that doesn't happen.
No.
Dude, I know Alabama.
The first time, the first coach ever to freaking get 2 quarterbacks to work together in tandem, and you're jealous of it. That's all it comes down to.
No, not at
That's
all.
all Ohio State fans are jealous about that.
No.
Because they couldn't do it, and they had that a couple of times. I'm sorry, Cooper
No,
sucked.
When you
I'm
have
sorry.
two quarterbacks, you have zero. Normally.
I'm sorry, Tressel wanted to go ahead and turn the other way.
When you have two quarterbacks, you have zero normally. That's the way that works.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's passing rating was a lot higher than that, and that's probably where he actually overshined.
Kyler Murray
now,
won it because he could run the ball too, and that's what they look at in college football. Is more about running than throwing. Who is still going to be the best quarterback in the NFL?
I gotta give Killer this point. This point is the biggest thing. What is the difference between college football and the NFL? The option play. You don't see the option in.
No, you don't.
In pros.
Now the fact is that the most purest passer in college football is Dwayne Haskins. It's that simple. And he drops back. His passes are perfect. They're right on target. And the deep ball is phenomenal.
Tua threw 3 interceptions a whole season. How many did Haskins throw?
Look, I would have kept Tua in second, but you're saying Haskins is third? Bull! Haskins is much better than this kid out of Clemson. And I'm sorry, this is crazy.
You don't think this kid out of Clemson is that?
I think he's third.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not wow. That's the way it should have been. Haskins should have won the Heisman Trophy. He was the best quarterback in the country.
Not according to the committees.
Not according to the committees. Not according to the people who voted. Ohio State. And that's all this comes down to. Is who he plays for. That's what it's all about.
Where do the votes come from? Besides the one vote that Nissan gives to the fans.
The sports writers.
The sports writers and who else?
Across the country.
Who else? Who else gets the votes?
You tell me.
The Heisman Trophy winners.
Okay.
How many Oklahoma Heisman Trophies winners are there compared to how many Heisman Trophy? And no, your 2-time Heisman Trophy winner does not get 2 votes. He only gets 1 vote.
Yeah, still the only 2-time.
And I'm not saying anything bad about that. I mean, shoot, I keep waiting for the chance to meet him there at Eastmore Academy when he comes and speaks to the team.
There you go. But the fact is that, no, I'm sorry, the purest passer, Haskins.
Yes, Tua did have a higher passing rating.
So,
I mean
we could debate this all night. But
the
fact of the matter is,
it comes down to it.
The fact is that there was a bias against Haskins right from the start.
Well, I mean,
and also because he can't run.
The team struggled overall. And unfortunately, that is something that they look at, the committee and everybody that puts their votes in.
Not the Heisman Trophy was the best player, not the best team.
No, it's not. It's the. But the thing is, you can have what if Tua
sarcasm initiated here.
Right. Yes. But what if Tua would have lost 4 or 5 of those games?
What if Tua played for Auburn instead of Alabama?
I'd hate him.
He wouldn't have had a shot. Well, you'd hate him, but he wouldn't have had a shot.
I'd be like, aloha, and I'm not saying hello. I'm saying goodbye.
Yeah, you wouldn't like him.
No,
Yeah, he couldn't be a good player. See, that's my point right there. The Alabama fans always want to look at
no,
player's the best and all this other kind of stuff.
Look, I make fun of Scam Newton and everything like that, but that's just that. But no, I would not want to play against Tua. But
I don't think you'd want to play against Haskins. I'm sorry, but no one is a purer passer in college football than Dwayne Haskins. And yes, in my humble opinion, he should have won the Heisman Trophy. But
I think you got your blinders on there on that one. But
no, I don't think so at all. I mean, I have looked at this. I've watched all 3 players, and they're all impressive. I'll give Murray; he's an impressive player. And so is Tua.
Yeah, I don't think Tua. I'm not saying Tua should have won it. I'm not saying
no,
that.
But you're saying Haskins should have been third where he was.
Right where he was.
Which is crap.
I think Kyler Murray deserved to win it.
Kyler Murray's going to play baseball.
So why can't?
The only reason he won it is because he could run the ball. It's the only reason he won. So, no one has a purer pass than Dwayne Haskins. And
what you do? Add that up on a calculator.
Years from now,
Killer.
people are going to look back at this and go, "How did this guy not win the Heisman Trophy?" He'll be the only one playing in the NFL.
I mean, Keller's giving you some good points here. I mean, Kyler Murray at 199 too.
Yeah.
Murray had 500 yards less than Haskins, and but also had 160 less attempts. Tua had higher passing rating than both of them at 205 too. I'm not understanding the 212 less attempts.
Yeah.
And he's saying that Tua would have had 6,000 plus yards if he would have had the same amount. I don't know if he's doing that just based off of his average.
Again, I don't care
pass.
That Tua set games out.
Well, he didn't set games out. He just set halves out. I mean, when you rack up 50 points and a half.
Todd just said, yeah. Todd Barber just weighed in, said I just got off and we'll be home till right when you're off air. No, that's too bad, Todd. You missed my rant.
Well,
I just
maybe not.
Off on all Ohio State fans who think we should have been in the Final Four. We didn't deserve the Final Four, but yes, Haskins should have won the Heisman. And I'm sorry, maybe I do have my blinders on that, but the fact is that pure passing. I watched every Ohio State game this year. And I watched every Alabama game except for the game against Citadel, which
I refuse to watch that game. I refuse to watch that game.
Which, by the way, Bama was losing at halftime.
No, they weren't losing.
Yeah, they were. Look it up. Bring it up.
Okay, I'm going to
bring it up. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Bama losing.
They were losing in the first quarter. First quarter.
But while you're looking that up, what's our final points?
Oh, okay.
Off of the Heisman talk.
Well, just to let you know,
Haskins.
the points, you won the points.
No way.
At 402 out of 741 points available. There would have been 780 if we would have had that third game.
Right. So I got 402.
402. I got 385. However.
Ouch. Okay.
However, and it's the big however, I picked 22 games correct. You picked 18 correct.
So you beat me in total games.
In total games. However, it's not based off of...
Based on points. So you beat me by 4 games. Which I figured you'd beat me by more than that. And I figured you'd win the points.
No, points...
So this totally
I lost
my
bigger...
bet.
Which before we do, we have to exchange that because I'm not going to do it. We're going to have to write it down, and you're going to read mine. I'm going to read yours.
Yes, absolutely.
That way, there's no way you can try to cock block me on it.
And we'll do that during this break.
But that's where we're at there, and bringing up the Citadel.
Oh yeah. Bring up the Citadel score first before we go to break.
No, it was tied at half.
You were still tied.
10-10.
You were tied to Citadel at the half.
Yeah, I think Tua sat down for the whole, almost the whole game. That I think he only played because he was banged up pretty bad by LSU.
And again, it's not Haskins' fault that you guys didn't play your quarterback the entire game.
I just think it's awesome that he played only really half of the games.
I just don't
and still got considered. And that's the whole reason. I don't think he should. That he got considered is amazing to me. It's just amazing to me.
The fact that Haskins finished third is amazing to me.
So
because he should have been first.
I think there was some better players out there, and unfortunately, it is put on the team because the team's got to win in order. Because if you got somebody that loses 3-4 games, they're not even considered in the Heisman talk, and they can be an all-star player.
What about our boy out of West Virginia, that quarterback from West Virginia?
Precisely my point.
Yeah.
Just because he lost 3 games, he was not even. He didn't even get an invite. Mm-hmm. And I think he should have finished second, to tell you the truth. And I do to break it to you, that Tua was considered is amazing, but
Tua was considered because of who he plays for, and he also got second because of who he plays for. Let's just be honest.
I don't think that. I don't see it that way.
I know you don't because you're a Bama fan.
I think he literally legitimately got the votes. I mean, and it does. It comes down to the Heisman Trophy winners that are still alive, as well as the sports writers. Mm-hmm. And Some of them did that before the what was it? Over 70% of them had already been casted their ballot before the conference championship games. How can you cast your ballot before what possibly can put them over the top?
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I kind of agree with you, is on that 70% that cast their, because they've already got their mind made up because they don't want to watch another game.
Yeah, all I'm saying is go back and look at how pure a passer Dwayne Haskins is, and tell me, how in the world can he be overlooked for the? He was barely even interviewed by the people at ESPN. He was overlooked.
He got his own interview where Tua and Murray had to share the screen.
He was overlooked in all of the talk leading up to it.
Yep.
All the talk was about Murray and Tua.
You're right. Conference championships are not part of the regular season killer, but in the votes, they're not. They don't have to be finalized until after that game.
It's obvious that I'm right, but we'll move on. So during this break, Diamondback and I are going to make our final bets on the college bowl pick'em here, and we'll reveal our bets when we come back from this break. We'll also get into the NFL, the National Football League, after we get back. This is Approach Money Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back, folks. I'm going to go ahead and just take this show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ferocious Money Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We had a little fun there off air in between.
I let him in on right at the end of it that we were still arguing on that.
He's delusional, folks, but it's okay.
I ain't delusional.
Yes, you are.
Heisman Trophy doesn't go to a quarterback. Who's it normally go to?
What's in the background? Steelers. You got the Steelers and Falcons,
Yeah.
right? So, hush. Quit
know
talking
what?
about college football.
I can change
That's
it if I
fine.
wish, okay?
There you go. Now we can talk college football again. This is now a college football show tonight, folks. Time for the NFL.
No, it's just this is the Iconic Drew and Diamondback argument show.
It's a sports opinion show, Diamondback. The fact that you're wrong is beside the point.
Let's go ahead and get this over into the NFL, man.
Yeah, and Lewis is right. Haskins reminds me of Big Ben. I absolutely agree. He could have the same career as Big Ben.
No, I'm not taking anything away from you. He is a better quarterback.
Yeah.
But it goes to the overall player.
Yeah, exactly.
A running back can get it, which I do believe.
You know, there was
you just said he couldn't run.
There were 3 quarterbacks put in.
Right.
3 quarterbacks, Diamondback.
Well, 3 quarterbacks that were invited.
This year, right?
This year.
3 quarterbacks. So what is the main job of a quarterback? Is it to throw the ball
to win the game?
Run? To throw the ball or run?
To win the game.
To throw the ball or run? I'm going to ask you the same question until you give me the answer.
To win the game.
The answer is to throw the ball. Quarterbacks were made to
in
throw
college, they run.
Yeah, well.
They play to win the game.
It looks like I'm going to win our bet in college football because you've got Bama on all of them and I got Bama on all of them.
Yes.
The only way we could end the tie is 0-0.
0-0. That's
if
it.
Clemson wins the game.
Yeah. Which means I win by default because I picked more games correct.
And yeah, that'd be absolutely fine. You'll win by default. We'll let you win one by default, Diamondback.
But no.
614-996-8389. This has been a lively show tonight, folks.
Oh yeah, it's been a great show, man. It's been a great show.
Diamondback's wrong, but that's okay. It's not necessarily about
control.
A better arm for Haskins than Roethlisberger. I agree with that too.
Wow.
And Kerry says the object of a quarterback is to throw the ball, dude. Throw the ball. That's the first job of a quarterback. Throw the ball, dude.
In college football, look, they run the option.
Yes. And Ohio State runs the option. Not as well with Haskins because he's not a running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a better quarterback. He's better at throwing the ball. No one threw the ball better this year than Dwayne Haskins.
The first job is not to turn the ball over.
Well, yes, you're right, Killer. Anybody knows that. But anyway,
which Tua did not do as much as Haskins did.
Let's get into the National Football League. We'll let Diamondback have a little last toss in there. That's absolutely fine. Because notice I did say toss, because that's what a quarterback is supposed to do, throw the ball. Which at Alabama and Clemson, they don't know that. They just run their quarterbacks. So, let's talk about the NFL. Do I have the right week here in front of me? Let's see. I do not. So, give me a second, Diamondback. Why don't you run your mouth for a minute?
Run my mouth, huh? Run my mouth. Oh, my gosh.
He's good at that.
Well, I'm actually going to go ahead and...
Here it is.
Oh, never mind. I'm going to shut up.
No, you don't need to shut up yet.
Wow. Wow.
You the man, Diamondback. You're wrong, but you the man. So
I'm gonna put the Ravens behind his next week.
Screw the Ravens.
Actually, I'll probably change it right now. Are we going to?
Yeah, we're gonna get to this.
Or should it, since it's the NFL, should I go into my rant or no?
What do you want to rant about? I thought we wanted to talk about the games first.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the games first. I'm just anxious on this.
All right.
Yeah.
I already got my rant out of the way, and I'm feeling good about myself now that I got that rant out. I haven't.
I'm ready to throw somebody out of the Fortnite bus, man.
Really?
Yep, I'm ready to throw somebody out.
I don't know why I can't find what I'm looking for here.
Why aren't you organized over there?
I am organized. Oh, it's just
obviously he's not, what? Because he still thinks Haskins should have won.
And Haskins should have won. Sorry, I normally Diamondback, you've known me for 20 years. You know I'm very good at taking off my rose-colored glasses.
Your scarlet-colored?
My scarlet-colored glasses.
Which they are. Which roses are this year back to the color of scarlet.
Right. They are. But, and I've thought about this a lot because I've listened to some of the national syndicated people talking about why the other two were better than Haskins. But I come back to the fact that no one throws the ball better than Dwayne Haskins. And it can't be argued. He throws a better pass than Tua. He throws a better pass than our boy out of Clemson. And that boy out of Clemson is going to be throwing baseballs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Once again, we've given the Heisman to someone who's going to play a different sport.
Why not?
And, it's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways.
I mean, no one threw the ball better. Yep. In college, it's all about the highlight plays that wins the Heisman. And, yeah, it's true.
That is kind of true. That is, I gotta kind of agree with that one.
That was Lewis weighing in on that one. And, you don't win trophies based on mechanics, according to Killer. Well,
that is true.
And that's unfortunate if that is true, because it should be based upon mechanics and who actually plays the position best.
Yeah,
and
but as I've stated,
pure quarterback in the league.
That's not a quarter.
So what?
It's not a quarterback award. The Heisman
This
Trophy
year
is.
It was a quarterback award because 3 quarterbacks got invited.
But it's not a quarterback award.
Diamondback, I understand that, but you're not listening.
Even a defensive player could win it.
You're
Though
right.
I don't think has that ever happened. I don't know.
Yeah, my boy out of the Meat Chicken won that one year. So anyway, not my boy, your guy. Anyway,
I have no idea who that is.
Right. So
Harbaugh's the only person out of I know.
So back to the National Football League, and Diamondbacks are going to have to be wrong on this one. So on we move. The Bills beat up on the Dolphins 42-17, and in this game, Josh Allen 17 of 26, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Also, shortly after this game, we're just going to do the openings here at the same time. Shortly after this game, Adam Gase, the head coach of the Dolphins, got fired. He finished with a record of 23-25 there. I was kind of surprised that he got to move on, but he's been interviewing at a couple places, though.
Yes.
We'll get to all those openings as we move on here. The Lions beat up on the Packers, my brother's Packers, 31-0. And in this particular game, Matthew Stafford from the Lions, 20 of 32, 296 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is an open position as well for head coach there in Green Bay. So we'll see what happens with them. Also, the Patriots beat the Jets 38-3. No shocker there. The first game that Iconic Drew and Diamondback get right. We both missed the previous 2. So the Pats roll on 38-3. In this game, Diamondback guy, Tom Brady, went 24 of 33 for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That's another guy I know that comes out of Michigan.
Yeah,
I don't know players out of Michigan. I really don't.
So, then the Panthers all over the Saints, the Drew Brees-less Saints, in all fairness, 33-14. Drew Brees sits it out. We both pick it wrong. In this game, the backup for Diamondback's favorite quarterback, Cam Newton, Mr. Allen, went 16-27 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. So there was that game. Nobody fired after that game from either team. Cowboys beat the Giants 36-35, and what might have been one of the best games of the weekend.
Probably was.
36-35 was a good game. In this particular game, Dak Prescott went 27-44 for 387 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Blake Jarvin, give it to this guy. Not only does he get his first touchdown pass ever in his career. He gets his second touchdown pass of his career, and then he finishes it off by getting his third touchdown pass of his career.
That's usually how it works.
1,
2, 3.
touchdown passes in one game, though, for this guy who had never scored a touchdown before. 3 in one game.
I'm sure he's not the first one that's done that.
Amazing.
I'm not too. I don't know why that's so impressive.
It's impressive as heck. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's not Dwayne Haskins impressive, but it's impressive.
You're so hung up on this. I am going to laugh at you when Haskins doesn't go as good as you think in the NFL.
Anyway, I like Lewis's comment here. Speaking of Clemson's quarterback, doesn't he look like Sunshine from Remember the Titans? Yeah,
nice.
He does.
Nice reference.
Thanks, Lewis. He does, actually. But why this is impressive is Diamondback, this guy had gone 15 games and not scored a touchdown. Then he gets 3 in one game. That's impressive. Come on, hand it to the kid.
No, it is impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just...
Come on. Lighten up a little.
It's.
I know you got a rant coming up here in a minute, which we're all looking forward to. Where's it?
Did I say impressive or did I mean depressive? Either way.
Anyway, then the Falcons beat the Buccaneers 34-33 in a game we both picked right. In this game, Julio Jones, 9 receptions, 138 yards and a touchdown. After this game, Tampa Bay's coach, Dirk Cotter, is fired. And
he went 19 for 29.
19-29 in 3 seasons, 5-11 this year. So he got fired. So that position's open down in Tampa Bay. Wouldn't be a bad place to live.
And this is where I'm going to take it from you.
Oh, okay.
This is where I'm going to take it.
It's rant time.
It's rant time. So basically, I'm just going to flat out put it this way to you.
Now, I'm not saying I don't like our head coach, but how can you fire the coordinator who the head coach hires himself and not fire the head coach? This just makes no sense to me. What's Arthur Blank thinking when this? There's obviously something that he sees in these 3 people, but yet I don't know if there's turmoil in their ranks. I don't know what's going on with this, but this is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. Firing 3 big shots within it. Am I mic off? He said. Oh my goodness.
I muted the wrong mic. Wow. Anyways,
okay, well, go ahead and do the rant again there.
Anyways, Steve Sarkisian got fired out of the Falcons. The Marquand Murray, Manuel got fired for the defensive coordinator, and Keith Armstrong got fired for the coordinator. How do you fire your coordinators but not the head coach? That is basically my rant on this. I'm not saying that Quinn deserves to get fired out of this, but it's just there must be some serious trouble in the ranks for this to happen. But to have that much talent and finish 7-9, that's definitely not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. And it irks me to see that much talent go there. But I see these 3 coaches landing somewhere. They definitely got some talent because they made it that far in there. But I just thought that was a little odd that all 3 coordinators got fired and the head coach kept his job. So it's not really much of a rant, but it's a question. And I will unmute your mic.
Well, so do you think Dan Quinn should have been fired?
No, I don't think he should have, but I just find this is kind of an odd firing, in my opinion. I get that. Yeah. It's just, how do you, I mean, these are the 3 biggest coaches right underneath Quinn. Yeah, the coach can't. He can fire him, but the thing is, I think this is kind of weird that this has happened. I don't know if this has ever happened in NFL history. I mean, this is the first time. Maybe it's the first time I've noticed it because it's happened to my team.
Right.
It just stands out.
Yeah, coordinators get fired all the time.
Oh yeah, coordinators do, but all three of them.
Right, the coach is not going to fire himself. Right, Killer. That's I like that I can see comments on both our pages now.
Both pages.
But yeah, and the coach is not going to fire himself unless he's. We didn't get the chance to talk about it unless he's the head coach at Miami University and decides of Florida decides to walk away. So anyway, I don't know that. I mean, there was a lot of underachieving by your Falcons this year. We talked about that. Both our teams did not achieve what they should have this year. But, that doesn't – to me, it's like if – I don't know that – I don't think Dan Quinn is the problem. So
no, Dan Quinn's a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from him. This is just, as I said, this just stands out as a very odd firing because I didn't just look at head coaches. I was looking at some of the other coaches that got axed for whatever reason, and that one really stood out to me. So,
right, and he was on the hot seat. Quinn could have been one of the coaches we were talking about being gone.
But Arthur came out back out. Arthur Blank, he came out and he actually said, "Hey, he's my man. I'm going to stay with him." Mm-hmm. Now, my boss at work, he actually brought it up that maybe he's not going to fire him because he got him to the Super Bowl. Well, Jim Mora got us to the Super Bowl, and Arthur Blank fired him after 2 seasons of losing. So, I mean, Arthur wants results. He doesn't care how he gets them. He just wants results.
Well, and they do play in a tough division.
They do play in a very tough division.
I mean, I'm not. You can't just give it as an excuse, but it's a fact.
And that's exactly it. It is a fact. It's not an excuse, and I will never accept those as excuses. Once again, like injuries, I don't. It's the team steps up. Everybody fills that gap. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're putting in a non-experienced individual or somebody that doesn't have as much experience because this player's injured. Everybody stands up and picks up just a little bit of slack from the player they lose until that player gets up to speed.
And Lewis makes a good point here. He said he needs to hire better coordinators or he will be the next to go.
Yeah, he will be the next to go. No, that is. But
I mean, the Falcons have too much talent to finish where they finished. So do the Steelers. Don't get me wrong. Both teams.
I made the joke in there. Steve Sarkisian is probably going to go back to Alabama as the offensive coordinator down here, and he probably will. Yeah. Because
3. Both had the Texans in this game, and in this game, Deshaun Watson, 25 of 35, 234 yards, 13 carries, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Nobody fired after that game. Jake's coach very much on the hot seat, but they didn't fire him. Now we're going to save this game right here and move on. Oh. The Chargers beat the Broncos 23-9. We both took the Chargers, and they Kyle Emanuel, 2 tackles, 1 touchdown, 18-yard fumble return. That's right. I'm giving it to a defensive guy out of that game. The offenses did nothing. Every once in a while, you got to hand it to the defense. Defense can still win championships, maybe. Hello, Baltimore. And hello, Chicago. And hello, Chicago.
Chicago is, I'm telling you, man, that was picking up Mac was a good shot.
Chiefs and Raiders, 35-3 Chiefs. They wrap up the number 1 seed with that win. And they're the Chiefs this year. Patrick Mahomes, 14-24, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
Back to your Broncos, you didn't emphasize that Vance Joseph got fired.
Oh, and we did miss that. You're absolutely right. Thanks for bringing that back up there.
11-21.
Vance Joseph gets fired from the Broncos after this game. And
11-21 over 2 years.
11-21 record in 2 years. So that's another position open in Denver.
Yep.
Wouldn't be a bad place to coach either for some obvious reasons.
Yeah, good skiing up there.
Good skiing and certain things legal. So, it could be a good place to
Wow.
be. Could be a good place to be is all I'm going to say. So, the Rams then beat the 49ers 48-32. And in this particular game, Jared Goff, 15 of 26, 199 yards and 4 touchdowns. Once again, nobody fired after this game. Then we have the Vikings and Bears. Now, here's a game. You win, you're in. All the Vikings have to do is win. You had one job. They lose to the Bears at home, 24-10. We both took the Vikings this game, by the way. But there were no coaches fired after this game. And Jordan Howard, 21 carries, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
The Bears.
And the Bears. Thank you to my nephew Matthew. The Bears rolling on. The Hawks then beat the Cardinals 27-24 in a close game. We both took the Seahawks in this game. And Russell Wilson, 12 of 21, 152 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then we get to the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
And you can still say they're defending because they're in the playoffs.
They beat the Redskins 24-0. Sorry, Bob. Your Redskins go down in flames. The good news is there were no coaches fired after this game. And Nick Foles went 28 of 33 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 INT. And this game gets the Eagles. This combination of this game and the Vikings losing to the Bears puts the Eagles into the playoffs, which means they have a shot at defending their Super Bowl championship. So what you're telling me is there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, Killer's calling them the Crapskins. Well, there, bud. You and Bob at the wedding are going to get along just great because he happens to be a Redskins fan and you are a Cowboys fan.
That should be an interesting time. Then we're going to skip ahead to the last game. Well, no, we're not. We're going to talk about the best. The NFL does this so perfectly. No one does this better than the National Football League.
Setting
up this, and I love that in the last week of the season, you get interdivisional matchups, just in case there's playoff implications involved. And the NFL couldn't have done this better this year.
Really?
Because you have the Pittsburgh Steelers at home hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
And then you have the Cleveland Browns, who are no longer the Clowns. As a Steeler fan, I'll hand it to the Browns. What a great season they had this year. And they go to Baltimore.
Yeah, no, this is something that they do. Not, I wish they do that all the way across the board. It was all within your conference. Mm-hmm. That's a way. You finish a conference game on the last week, and I love that they also do not play any Monday night games anymore on that final week, so you don't have to wait. You know what the playoffs are
on Sunday night.
On Sunday evening, and there's no Sunday night game either.
So, there was a Sunday night game.
Was there?
We'll get to that in a minute. That was the play-in game.
Oh,
the play-in game between the Titans and Colts.
All right, I thought they all played
They played at
4:15.
8:30.
Well, I did not know that.
So, yeah, I watched that game too. So, anyway.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, well, you sit corrected. Anyway, going into this game, if the Steelers win and the Browns win, the Steelers are in the playoffs and the Ravens are home. So that's the excitement. And from 4:30 to 7:30, I'm glued. Now, I want to thank, I don't know who it is, but someone in one of my Steeler groups streamed this game on my Facebook page in one of my Steeler groups that I'm in. So I got to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers game against Cincinnati on my phone while I'm watching the Browns-Ravens game on TV. So I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat with my phone right in front of me and this big screen TV up here in front of me, and I'm watching both games back and forth. And this was one of the most exciting 3.5 hours of football you could ever have as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It was phenomenal. First of all, Pittsburgh takes care of Cincinnati. They take care of Cincinnati in this game. Marvin Lewis gets fired after, so that's another opening there for you in football and for head coaches. Anyway, the Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers win the game. Barely. But they do win. Was it 16-13? In this particular game, Matt McRae, 3 for 3 in field goals, long of 47. That's right, I'm giving it to a field goal kicker in this game because he kicked 3 field goals, and that's why Pittsburgh won the game. So, meanwhile, we go up to Cleveland. Or no, Baltimore. Cleveland's at Baltimore. First of all, I called all you Cleveland fans out last week for saying you wanted to lose this game and keep Pittsburgh out of the playoffs. Because how could you root for the city that stole your team? That's a bunch of crap. You can't do that. You got to root for your team in that case. So anyway, Baltimore does unfortunately win, 26-24. So in this particular game, Justin Tucker for another, giving it to another kicker. Yeah, I just said 3.5 hours of exciting football due to playoff matchups. It all comes down to kickers. But his longest was 44, and he was 4-4. Justin Tucker is, when it comes to field goal kickers, no one is more consistent than this guy.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you, Killer. So, anyway, I might have to respond to that, right?
Yeah. I think Killer's finally getting the idea of this sports opinion show. We want to get riled.
So, as is pointed out by Killer, Antonio Brown did not play in the game on Sunday. Apparently, he got into an argument with Ben Roethlisberger on the field, and then he skipped a meeting and was kept out from playing the game. So I handed it to head coach Mike Tomlin in the most important game of the season for not playing a superstar when he acts that way.
No, you
bench him. In fact, I wouldn't have had him on the sideline.
No,
he wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been.
Well, no,
he wouldn't have been in the stadium unless he bought a ticket.
Wow. I think you're wrong on that, but because
he's
you
a
still,
poison to the team, then.
he might be a poison to the team, but he still has to show that he has to stand beside his team. You know, he's got to prove a point.
Go to the meeting.
Right. No, and forcing him to go to the meeting is the first thing. But I like that he calls Antonio Brown Kim Kardashian.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are right now
leadership, precisely.
They are, man. It's a soap opera there in Pittsburgh, but they're not in the playoffs. Underachieving team. We talked about it all season. Your Falcons did the same thing. When you've got Antonio Brown and the talent they have on this team, Hall of Fame quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, Hall of Fame quarterback in Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. The talent these two teams have, they should both be in the playoffs. But Pittsburgh was at least a little bit closer. I can take solace in that, but the fact is that they lost to Oakland, they lost to Denver. When you lose to those two teams, then you have to rely on an Ohio team to get you into the playoffs. Forget about it. It's not going to happen.
You're starting to embarrass yourself there, Killer. You're naming all the Kardashians, and I can't even name one.
Right. And I've never watched the show. I'm going to be... like,
that I even know that it's a show is, I feel pathetic.
Right. I feel dirty for that reason. Just the fact I know the Kardashians are a show.
Even though Laura chimed in there earlier saying she loves that show, but I'm glad she's upstairs and not down here trying to give her point on why the Kardashians are a better show. Oh, you had to think really hard about it. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. He probably actually went online and looked them all up.
Probably did.
Yeah, he probably didn't really watch the show. So, yeah, and Lewis is right. Brown might get traded. Thinks his time in Pittsburgh is done. It probably is. You know what I say to that? If Antonio wants out of town, pack his bags.
This is what I like about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is really what I like, is they don't put up with this type of crap, and they don't sit there and let people dictate. Well, I want more money. You're not getting it, so pack your bags if you don't take our offer. They did it to Le'Veon Bell, and I don't know why Le'Veon Bell walked away from all that money just really to just do what he normally does,
Yeah. And Le'Veon's a year older. Granted, he'll get signed by somebody.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
And I just got one thing to say to Antonio Brown. If you want to leave, go ahead. But look in the history books and look in the history of Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers who leave and go someplace else. Look at look at Santonio Holmes. Now here's a guy who won a Super Bowl or helped win a Super Bowl for the Steelers against the Cardinals. Last second touchdown pass. Wanted traded, right? Not traded, but he wanted more money than Pittsburgh would give him. So he left and went to the Jets. His career after that, straight downhill. Antonio, you want to leave and go play for somebody without a good quarterback? Go ahead. You'll suck too. So, you know, you got a good deal there in Pittsburgh. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing you the ball, and you want to leave. So.
Well, the Falcons obviously don't have enough talent. You can go down there.
Right. Exactly.
Sarcasm major.
You imagine Antonio Brown and Julio Jones on the same field.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, and Calvin Ridley, and then
you got Matt Ryan throwing the ball.
Man, I'll tell you what.
Defenses
are
just saying.
Don't win it all with that lineup. You're really going to go off, Diamondback.
Oh, I would.
Oh,
I would
goodness.
Lose my. So, I don't think there's enough cap room down there for Antonio Brown. But
when we get back from this next break, this is the First Buddy Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And once again, our phone number is 614-996-8389.
That's 614-996-8389.
Thank you. Diamondback. And when we get back from this break, we will talk about the NFL playoffs.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Are you getting shaggy? When you go home to visit your mom, does she say, "Who is the new girl?" Well, this is the Iconic Drew, and every time I need a haircut, I go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop. There are always sports on the TVs, and everyone gives their opinion on sports. Sometimes even topics from the Iconic Drew and cast of characters sports opinion show. Todd has been cutting hair for over 18 years, and he's very personable. He will give his opinion on sports and anything else we're discussing. If you want to get a great haircut at an old-fashioned barbershop, go see Todd the Barber at Todd's Barbershop, located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard, near Columbus, Ohio. Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd is a family man. So if you need a haircut, do what the Iconic Drew would do. Go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop. Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And just to give a quick synopsis of the coaching positions that are currently open: Tampa Bay, Denver, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals, and the Miami Dolphins. And our two coaches not fired.
Not fired.
Even though both teams underachieved, both coaches still retained.
Yeah, they're retained.
So
I'd like to ask your opinion of this because this is something I've been seeing a lot of. And
so much for getting to the play. Go ahead.
No, we're going to get into the playoffs, but I just got a question. I've seen a couple of different things with the Bengals online. And a lot of Bengals fans, of course, are Ohio State fans, being here in the state of Ohio and in the Columbus area. Columbus area is divided probably evenly between the Bengals and the Browns, with a few Pittsburgh Steelers thrown in there.
I think it's more like Steelers are second.
Are you? Is it
right now? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
and they might disagree with me on that, but man,
they probably will. I mean, I kind of figured it would.
There's fans of every team here, but go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, so with that being said, and I said Ohio State, a couple of them were wanting Urban Meyer to come down there. Really, you love the guy. I don't think he'd make a great NFL coach. And two, with his medical issue, I don't see him doing it.
If Urban ever coaches again, notice I said if, because as I said earlier, I don't think he ever will again. But if he ever did, it'll be a college team. It won't be a pro team.
I just thought that was kind of funny. And the other name, Hugh Jackson.
Yes, Hugh Jackson.
What's up with that?
I will absolutely laugh if the Cincinnati Bengals, and next week we will be, of course, talking about the first round playoff games in our NFL segment.
Yes.
As well as the talk about what coaches have been hired to this point and where. But man, if they hire Hugh Jackson, I'm gonna laugh because it's the Bengals. I will laugh. I'll love it.
There's a guy out there that actually creates websites that look like the official website. You know, like they would do an ESPN website. Mm-hmm. And he was trolling this week. And normally he trolls on like college football coaches or to get fans really riled up and stuff like that. But he decided he was going to switch over, and he picked on Green Bay Packers, saying that Hugh Jackson is seriously considering, but he wants to be able to bench Aaron Rodgers because he really doesn't like Aaron Rodgers, and he wants to bring. I mean, dude, he went out, and there was a lot of people falling for this, but at the very end of it, he's like, "This is not a real article," But yeah, I mean, just try to get them to go off. And I that there was just phenomenal that he was able to do,
that's
because people got all the way down to the last line. It was like, I mean, their blood was boiling.
Really?
So
they're ready to call us and go off.
So I just wanted to bring that up with that. I just thought that was kind of a little bit a nice little tidbit on that.
Taylor makes a good point on Antonio Brown. He might end up with the Niners. Jimmy G will be back there. I like Jimmy G as a quarterback. And, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad fit. Would I like to see Antonio stay in Pittsburgh? Of course I would. I'm a Steeler fan. I'll always be a Steeler fan. I'll be a Steeler fan until the day I die. But the fact is that this kind of arrogance and skipping meetings and just doing – he was awesome on the show, that show last night. But, I didn't guess it was him either. I don't know if you watched any of the Masked Singer or not. But
yeah, I caught the last little thing. It's on Hulu, so I'll probably end up catching the whole episode. But that was pretty interesting. I'm really curious on who the deer is.
Yeah, we all want to know who the deer is.
I mean, that he had a voice.
And the what was that? The one that's definitely a female, like in the white. I can't.
Well, the lion was what the deer went up, and I didn't hear anybody else sing.
Oh, okay,
unfortunately,
gotcha.
I didn't hear the individual we're talking about that got unmasked. We already gave it away earlier in the show.
Yes, we did.
But we're not going to do it again. We didn't really mean to do that. However, I got to hear him sing at the end, and actually, he's got a pretty good voice.
Yeah, he does. He does. And I'm still going to like Antonio Brown as a player if he leaves Pittsburgh. But I will be sad to see him leave the Pittsburgh Steelers because it does create a void there. You got Juju Smith, Schuster, and they've got some wide receivers after that. But Antonio Brown is one of those take the top off the defense type receivers. And that's going to be missed by Pittsburgh if he leaves.
Yeah,
for sure.
It will.
So, but maybe they'll draft somebody that, someone out of the Big 12 that can do the same thing. So, since all they do is throw the ball in the Big 12. Imagine that, throwing the ball. Anyway, throwing the ball in college football. Wow. Anyway, what a concept.
They don't do that.
No, we don't. Let's talk about the playoffs. So, I got my digging on here. We have 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday down there.
Wow,
and
really?
What we do for our college picks, everybody, I'm going to let you in on this little secret. Diamondback and I have been doing this for about 18 years now. What you do is you have 20 points per round that you can earn, and you put at least 1 point on every game.
It has to be at least one.
At least one on every game, but it has to equal 20 when you're done, so you can't use 4 ones. So it has to equal 20 possible points.
Well, you could use 4 ones, but that's all you're going to get is 4 points.
Yeah.
You just went and automatically lost 16 points.
Right, so it's kind of a stupid move.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you want to do the math and equal 20. I had to call Spencer and make sure I had my math right. So, I'm double checking it right now, and I do. So, I have 20.
I'm going to give that a little bit away right now.
First game of the weekend.
Uh-oh. First game?
Saturday, the 5th. At 4:30 on ESPN/ABC. Why it's carried on both, I don't know. Only for those of us who don't have cable, maybe. Colts versus Texans. You're going to pick this one first, my friend.
Colts versus the Texans. Well, I'm going
Colts
to take
at the Texans.
As I said, I'm taking Texans on this.
Okay.
But this was kind of a difficult week.
This was the hardest pick of the week, I think.
So I'm just going to go ahead and put 5 on Texans.
Okay. So I am taking the Indianapolis Colts on the road for 1.
Whoa.
For 1 point.
Okay.
So then we have the next game, the late game on Saturday the 5th. We have, it's on Fox, we have the Seahawks at the Cowboys. And I'll pick this one first. Lewis, you're going to be happy to hear this if you're still out there watching. I think you are. I'm taking, and Killer will like this too. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm taking the boys for 6 points.
Taking Dallas over Seattle.
Yes. For 6.
Well, I'm taking Dallas as well, and I'm taking number 5.
Okay. So far, Diamondback's playing the 5-5-5-5-5 rule here.
Well, pretty much that's what I've done.
We'll see if that follows through. Then we have the early game on January 6th. It's not a special day. It's another day on the calendar. January 6th.
Yeah, but your Steelers can play. Oh, no, they can't.
January 6th. Hey, we got closer to the Falcons. You were eliminated in Week 12. This game's on CBS at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but you're still sitting in the same spot we are.
Chargers at the Ravens.
We just got better seats because we were
Chargers
first.
at the Ravens. Diamondback, who you got?
Chargers are coming all the way across the field, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Ravens for 5 as well.
He did go to the 5-5-5-5 rule. Okay. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers, and I'm taking them for 1.
It's actually a good call. I'm taking them for a lot low of a point. Putting 1 point on them, so you're putting a lot. Wait, how many did you put on Dallas?
6.
6.
Yeah, I have 12 points left. In case you're doing the math.
Wow, you're putting a lot. No, I just...
Who did you pick? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have on Sunday, January the 6th, again, just another day on the calendar, not a special day at all. This game's at 4:30 on NBC. And we have the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles against my nephew Matthew's Bears. And I am picking this one first. We both know it's for 12 points. And I'm going with the Bears at home, 12 points.
So you're saying they're no longer defending champions after this game?
It'll be over this week.
So am I. I'm saying the same thing.
You got the Bears.
I got the Bears for 5.
Okay, well that's interesting because we do have 2 games different for one thing. Definitely got some difference in point swings, for sure. I mean, you could find yourself rooting for the Eagles in that game because I got 7 more points on them.
Yeah. So yeah, no. I probably won't though.
Yeah, probably.
I probably just wish that you have your 12 and leave it at that.
Well, I'm hopefully going to get all 20, but only time will tell. These games have to be played yet, obviously.
I just hope we're correct on the Bears and that, and I'm right on the other 2.
Yeah, there you go. So,
but yeah, I pretty much just this year was a little difficult. This wasn't one I could really pick one that I could throw a lot of points on. I didn't have a lot of confidence one way or the other. The Chargers, I really did think about putting the Ravens at a very high point, but no.
Yeah. The Ravens at home, I mean, talking about this game, granted we just picked them all, and I took the Chargers, you took the Ravens. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the Chargers. I put 1 point on them.
It's a good call to do that. I mean,
this matchup was played about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the Ravens won by 3 points. And that game was in L.A.
Okay.
Now, the Chargers are 7-1 on the road this year. So they're a better road team than they're a home team.
Yeah.
And they're probably not too used to playing in L.A. yet.
Well, that makes them a road team.
They're also sharing L.A. with the Rams, who are a better team. Both playoff teams, but the Rams are a better team.
Yeah, I kind of like the way they did that because they put the LAC for LA Chargers, LAR for the LA Rams.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of neat that they did that. One
more time, Raiders. Raiders.
So
next week, San Diego next year. Go ahead.
So next week we do put another 20 points out there for us to win.
Yeah.
Once again, splitting it up amongst the 4. Then the conference games, we do another 20, splitting it amongst the 2 games that's played there.
Yeah.
And then we do like what we just did with the college football. We take what we won and we gamble it.
And we block each other.
Well, this year I didn't think he was going to take a lot of points, and I just thought you were going to take just enough to keep me from if I did that.
Yeah, I could have done that differently. But I think Bama, to go back to college for a moment, if you don't mind, I think Bama, we're not going to talk about the Heisman. I think Bama is going to win this game. I think they're a better team than Clemson, top to bottom. Bama always has a solid defense. And this year, they actually have a good quarterback.
They do. Looking at the offensive lines and looking at it, it's the Alabama defense is a stronger defense than the Clemson offensive line, but vice versa, the other way around. Their defense is a better defense than our offensive line. It's going to be a draw there. I mean, that's where it's going to be. Can our offensive line keep their defense out long enough for Tua to get rid of the ball? That's where it's going to be. Our run game, between their run game, once again, going up against the offensive line, it's a draw. Vice versa, it's a draw. So I don't give the edge either way. And looking at our passing game, yeah, we got a better passer, but it's what are they going to do? I mean, can he exploit their secondary quickly? And that's what it's going to come down to. Whoever runs the most plays in this game wins this game.
That's probably true.
And the only reason, and I totally went against what I always said. I mean, the only way I could win is if I took whatever team I was going to take to for the most points. And I sure in hell ain't going to root against Bama.
Yeah. Well, and I knew you were picking Bama.
So,
I mean, and basically I look at it like you're going to win one of 2 ways. Either Bama wins and I win the college pick'em this year, or Clemson wins and you win the college pick'em this year.
I'm not.
Because you beat me, and like you pointed out, and that's correct, DiAmOnDbAcK. You picked more games correct than I did.
Yeah.
So
and that's
and that number's not changing because we both took Bama.
Yeah. So, well, even then, I still got 4 games more. So,
right, exactly.
But I'm
I'm
sure in
saying.
heck not going to root against Alabama to win the pick'em.
I wouldn't either. This is Ohio State in this situation. There's no
I'm not
way.
going to do it.
No way under the sun I'd be doing that. I agree.
So
I'm just saying you're going to win either way.
It's amazing that they have done this. A lot of people are getting upset about it's Alabama and Clemson, for the 4th year straight.
Then somebody stop them.
Somebody's got to stop them. You can't.
You can't lose to Purdue while you're at it. And if Ohio State doesn't lose to Purdue, maybe they're there, and maybe they could have stopped Ohio.
Well, it would have been 4 undefeated teams at that point.
Yeah,
it would have been 4 undefeated teams. Notre Dame would have ended up playing Alabama, probably being the skunked out team. And Ohio State would have been able to play for some revenge from against Clemson.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that matchup.
That
was painful to watch, that game against Clemson a couple years ago.
But
on a New Year's Eve too.
I don't see this being a blowout one way or the other.
Oh, I don't either. I mean, I'll give my score prediction. You give yours. I think Alabama wins 38-24.
Wow, 38-24.
Yeah.
You're giving
14 points.
It's only 14 points.
I don't know what the line is. Do you know what the line is?
6.
Alabama favored by 6.
Favored by 6. Alabama's favored by 6.
So I got them covering. I got them covering the spread.
I don't have them covered in the spread.
Yeah. Okay.
Staying
I
with
have
my
more confidence in your team than you do. That's always
well.
been the case.
I'm never going to be that strict out homer. I'm always going to pick them. I'm always going to pick them. In my pick who I want to see win, but I will never not look at the whole thing, and I see it coming down to 3 points.
Yeah,
I really do, and not a high-scoring game, 16-17. It's going to be that close, and it's not going to go over 20. If somebody goes over 20, they won. Yeah. If I'm completely off basis, people can call me out next week. I don't care.
Yeah.
But just do me a favor. Don't call me out, and just trash talk my team if they lose.
Yeah. Well, I'll just send you a text on Tuesday. That says
just back off
something.
the ledge.
I'll say, first of all, step off the ledge, and then secondly, you win the bowl pick'em. Because you will have at that point, because I was dumb enough to put all my points on Alabama. But no, I think Bama wins. Like I said,